What is up, YouTube? Kids Most Primary back at you with yet another video. I'd like to start off by wishing all of you a very happy new year. 2017 is officially in the books, and we are now officially into 2018. Kicked it off the only way I know how, which was by watching the Winter Classic, like I do every year, regardless of who's competing, even though it featured one of my least favorite NHL teams, but that is not the subject of this video. That's at least the one you clicked on. This is a video of the top 10 anticipated movies of 2018. Now, I'm not saying that I'm anticipating all these movies, but these are ones that I believe a lot of people will be interested in seeing when they come out. And certain movies are excluded from the list because they were either fake reports of them not coming out, or we know they're just gonna suck. So that means that Solo and The Incredibles 2 will not be on this list. I'm sorry. So let's get started. Starting off at number 10 is Bumblebee the movie, or Transformers Universe Bumblebee, whatever the hell they're going to call it. Now, I think we can all agree that The Last Night was not the best Transformers movie. It truly wasn't. It really wasn't the best Transformers movie. I mean, it was certainly better than Dark of the Moon, but it was not very great. They're taking a new... This is kind of the first spin-off movie in the franchise before Transformers 6 comes out next year. And supposedly it's going to be a whole new chapter of the movie franchise. This takes place in the 80s, where Bumblebee is found in a junkyard and befriends a girl. And she learns he's no ordinary Volkswagen. Now, the only things we do know is that Peter Cullen will have some form of a role in the movie. We don't know if Bumblebee is going to be able to talk or not. Since this takes place in the past, I'm assuming his vocal processor has not yet been repaired, so I'm guessing he won't speak. So, he does have his old vehicle mode back. He is going to turn into an old-school Volkswagen like he did in G1. So at least we have that going for us. We don't know what Decepticons will be appearing in the movie, if any, which I'm sure there will be. I mean, what's a Transformers movie without Autobots and Decepticons? So, yeah, why wouldn't they feature some? Very curious about this movie. It doesn't come out till December. They usually release the Transformers movies in summertime, but now they're pushing it back towards December. I don't know why they're doing that, but I'm sure we'll find out in due time. Number 9 is Black Panther. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking, oh my gosh, it's the first superhero movie where the superhero was black. Obviously, people, you haven't seen Blade. Or Justice League, for that matter. So, yeah, Black Panther, the last stop in the Marvel Cinematic Universe before we get to Avengers Infinity War. And the second appearance of Black Panther since his debut in Captain America Civil War. It's set after the events of Civil War. It's not going to be like it's the first time appearance for him, or like a prequel of any kind. This will kind of focus on T'Challa accepting his role as king of the tribe in Wakanda and trying to balance his life between ruling the country and being the Black Panther and keeping peace. There's also sources that claim that this might be where the last Infinity Stone turns up. So far, that one, the Soul Gem, has not yet appeared, so many people think that this is where we will find it. So, whether we actually do find it in this movie or not, we won't know. They don't give it away in the trailers. We usually don't find it out until the movie comes out. But it will be really nice to see Black Panther. Number 8 is a movie that I probably am not going to see, and that is Ready Player One. Now, I know you're thinking, why would I not see this movie, even though it's made by Steven Spielberg, who's like one of my favorite movie makers? Well, because I have been told that if I read the book Ready Player One, or if I want to see the movie, then I should pretty much be prepared to lose my grip on reality. When I watched the trailer for this movie, I was getting a very Tron Legacy, Avatar, and Ender's Game kind of vibe from this movie. Because it takes place in a virtual reality, it's about a game, there's a quest involved, and just like in the book, there's a bunch of pop culture references, which I've got them listed here on Wikipedia. Some of them include the Iron Giant, the DeLorean Time Machine. What else? Kaneda, this motorcycle from Akira, or Acura, however you prefer to pronounce it. Tracer from Overwatch, the RX-782 Gundam from Mobile Suit Gundam. Lara Croft from Tomb Raider, the Mach 5 from Speed Racer, and King Kong. So, Steven Spielberg did not choose to feature any of his movies as parts of the movie because they feel like they would be a little bit kind of biased a little bit because this movie is heavily influenced by pop culture. I haven't read the book. It's banned in a lot of places around here, so I don't know why I haven't been able to read it. It's not available on any store shelves I've been able to go to, so I'm surprised the movie's coming out. So, yeah, there's one movie. Number 7, I'm gonna get a bunch of hate comments for saying this. Deadpool 2. That's right, people are actually excited about a second Deadpool. I'm surprised Fox didn't learn their lesson from the last 2 times they've used the character. I mean, in 2009, they featured him in X-Men Origins Wolverine, fucked him up completely, and just ruined the character for us. And then 2 years ago, we get our first feature film of the character, which was a good attempt, but poorly executed. It was really a bad movie. Not very funny, not very close to the comics that we know and love. It just wasn't a good movie. So why on God's green earth would they greenlight a sequel? I mean, especially considering the fact that Josh Brolin, the guy who plays Thanos in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, also plays Cable. I got a feeling the only reason they made this movie is because of freaking Disney buying 20th Century Fox. And Disney wants to milk the Marvel cow as much as they can. But that's just my 250. Moving on. Number 6 is one that I'm definitely looking forward to. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Now, I'm kind of skeptical about the Jurassic Park movies. I loved the original Jurassic Park, but I like to pretend that The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 don't exist. That's just how I didn't like them very much. I loved Jurassic World when it came out 3 years ago. I loved it when that movie came out. That was an awesome movie. And I'm very much interested in seeing what this movie has to offer. Them returning to Isla Nublar to move all the dinosaurs off the island before it is destroyed by a volcano. So could this truly be the last Jurassic Park, Jurassic World movie? You know, because the island's being destroyed by a volcano? Time shall tell. At least we're getting Chris Pratt in again. I liked his character. I think his name was Owen. I'm glad to see him coming back. Number 5. Ant-Man and the Wasp. I loved the original Ant-Man movie. I thought the first Ant-Man movie was awesome. So I'm very interested in seeing Ant-Man return to the big screen, and with the Wasp as his partner in crime. I don't want to use the word sidekick, because Stan Lee doesn't really like sidekicks. That's why any of his characters rarely had them. I mean, except for the Wasp and maybe War Machine. So, yeah. Really interested in seeing this movie play out, because I liked the first Ant-Man movie. Really curious to see how this is going to play out for the sequel. Really excited to see it. Excuse me. Number 4. The Predator. I have been waiting for this movie for 8 years. I remember when Predators came out back in 2010, neither of my parents would take me to see it. It's for that reason alone why I was so excited to see Jigsaw last year. Because when its last installment came out, I wasn't old enough to see it by myself in theaters, and neither of my parents would take me. So, finally a Predator movie. So, this makes me wonder, we got an Alien movie last year, we're getting a Predator movie this year. Does this mean we could potentially be getting another Alien vs. Predator movie? I mean, after the failure of Alien vs. Predator Requiem, it sounds kind of unlikely, but let's keep our hopes high that there's a possibility. I mean, I'm really looking forward to this Predator movie. I'm assuming that the Predator that's going to be in this movie is going to be the classic jungle hunter that we saw from the first film. It would be interesting if they did introduce a new type of Predator like they did with every other movie. But we shall find out. I'm hoping that they use the original jungle hunter that we saw in the original film and also was featured as the classic Predator in Predators. But, like I said, time will tell. I don't know if Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be in it or not. He might make a cameo, but I'm not 100% sure. Moving on. Number 3, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. The reason I'm excited for this movie is because they're finally making a Spider-Man movie about a Spider-Man that isn't Peter Parker. Finally. I mean, for the last decade and a half or so, even 2 decades, all the Spider-Man movies have been about Peter Parker's Spider-Man. We've never really seen any of the other Spider-Men from the comics. I mean, there was the video game where we travel into other Spider-Man dimensions, including Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Man 2099, but we never see any other versions of Spider-Man in movies. This will be the first one for... It's going to be animated, not live action. I'm very curious about who's going to play Peter Parker, because they do have him listed as being appearing, but we don't know who's playing him yet. We'll find out when the movie comes out. I'm hoping for maybe Tobey Maguire. That'd be cool. I'm also excited because Liev Schreiber is in this movie, because he's from one of my favorite hockey movies, Goon. And I still haven't seen Last of the Enforcers yet, so no spoilers. Number 2, Pacific Rim Uprising. Oh my gosh, I remember when I first heard about this movie, I was so excited for it. Many of you guys will know I loved the original Pacific Rim. Really, I loved it. It was one of my favorite movies of 2013, and it's slowly becoming one of my favorite movies overall, so... When I heard this movie was coming out, I got super thrilled. Especially when they cast John Boyega from Star Wars in the lead role. I'm really curious to see how he's going to play a part in this movie. I know that his character is Stacker Pentecost's son. That was a character played by Idris Elba, if you remember the original movie. The 2 doctors, Gottlieb and Geyser, will be returning, as well as Mako. Unfortunately, Charlie Hunnam will not be reprising his role as Raleigh. Which I'm a little confused by, because he's not filming Sons of Anarchy anymore, so what's tying him down? But I'm sure they'll find a way to write him off sooner or later. Maybe we'll see him, or see John Boyega's character with Mako. That'd be cool. Seeing them together in a Jaeger pilot cockpit. I'm sorry, that didn't sound like proper English. And finally, the number one movie I'm anticipating, and a lot of people are anticipating this year, Avengers Infinity War. Need I say much else? I mean, I remember sitting in the theater 3 years ago, watching Age of Ultron, and I remember as soon as that's where my tongue stops working, when that end credits scene showed Thanos donning the Infinity Gauntlet and holding it up, I was squealing like a fanboy. I mean, I was totally... because I love the Infinity Gauntlet stories of the comics. I really cannot wait to see this play out in the movie. Plus, as you all know, I got that Infinity Gauntlet coin bank for Christmas a couple years ago, and it's been filled and emptied a couple times over the last 3 years. In fact, I need to empty it soon. I'm really curious to know how this movie's going to play out, especially considering that it's going to feature every single character who's appeared in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, we're going to see all of the Avengers, we're going to see Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Winter Soldier, Falcon, the Guardians of the Galaxy, all of them. No wonder this movie was originally going to be split up in 2 parts, because it's such an epic movie. So, I am counting down the days to that movie coming out. I know I will definitely be seeing it that weekend. Either that Friday it comes out, or on Free Comic Book Day. One of the two. I'm definitely going to be going to see that movie. So, yeah. Those are what I believe are the top 10 most anticipated movies of 2018. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comments below. I guess that's about it. Later, guys. I am out of here.